What if the secret to living a peaceful and purposeful life lies in balancing two powerful forces, faith in the unseen and action in the physical world? The Quran says, "And whoever relies upon Allah, then he is sufficient for him." 65:3. Imagine the strength and clarity you'd feel by fully trusting in Allah's plan while taking decisive, purposeful action. In today's video, we'll explore how ancient wisdom and modern science converge to guide us in mastering this balance. Picture this: a sea stretching endlessly in front of you, towering waves shimmering under the sunlight, and behind you, the relentless roar of Pharaoh's army drawing closer. The Israelites, overwhelmed by fear, turned to Prophet Musa, Moses, with desperate cries, "What do we do now?" The human instinct to panic, to freeze in the face of such a dilemma, is universal. But Musa, guided by unwavering faith, takes a small yet monumental action. He strikes the water with his staff. It's an act of trust, seemingly simple, yet it triggers a miracle. The waters part, creating a path of salvation. What strikes us here is not just the miracle, but the sequence. Trust followed by action. Imagine if Musa had only prayed without acting or acted without trust. The balance between these forces is what unlocked divine intervention. This story isn't just an ancient tale, it's a profound lesson for our own lives. In moments when we stand at the edge of uncertainty, surrounded by challenges, do we panic or do we trust and act? Now consider Hajar. She's alone in the barren desert with her infant son, Ismail, both suffering from thirst. The desolation around her is crushing, but her spirit remains unbroken. Running between the hills of Safa and Marwah, she searches desperately for water. Not once, not twice, but 7 times. Her relentless effort, combined with her absolute trust in Allah, brings forth the miraculous spring of Zamzam. Hajar's story is the epitome of persistence fueled by faith. She didn't sit idle, waiting for help to appear out of thin air. She worked with every ounce of strength she had, and it was her trust in Allah that gave her the resilience to keep going. Imagine her anguish, her exhaustion, and yet her determination. How often do we give up after the first or second attempt when success might be waiting just one more step away? These stories teach us something profound. Trusting Allah doesn't mean passivity. It's not about waiting idly for solutions to fall into our laps. Trust means acting with conviction, knowing that the results are in Allah's hands. It's about sowing the seeds while believing that He will bring the rain. Every one of us has our Red Sea or our Safa and Marwah moments, times when the obstacles feel insurmountable, when the answers aren't clear. In those moments, are we willing to take the step even when the path isn't visible? The balance between faith and action isn't just spiritual wisdom. It's deeply embedded in our biology and psychology. Science reveals that trust, whether in ourselves, others, or a higher power, has profound effects on our brain and body. Let's explore how this dynamic unfolds through neuroscience and psychology. Imagine this. When you trust in something greater than yourself, your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and problem-solving, lights up. Modern neuroscience shows that trust reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center. This dampening effect helps us stay calm and rational, even in the face of uncertainty. It's no wonder the Quran says, "And put your trust in Allah. He is sufficient for you." 33:3. Trust not only eases the emotional burden, but also enhances our capacity to act effectively. Now consider what happens when you pair trust with purposeful action. Psychologists have long studied the flow state, a mental condition where we feel fully immersed, energized, and focused. Athletes describe it as being in the zone, where every movement feels natural and effortless. This state arises when there's a balance between challenge and skill. Here's where trust plays a crucial role. Trusting in a higher power provides the mental calm needed to enter flow, while taking action engages our skills and focus. Together, they create a powerful synergy. Think of a climber scaling a mountain. She trusts her equipment and training, but every step she takes requires focus and effort. Without trust, fear would paralyze her. Without action, she'd never ascend. Faith also builds resilience. Studies on mindfulness reveal that spiritual practices like prayer and dhikr, remembrance of Allah, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing stress and promoting emotional stability. The Quran captures this beautifully. Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. 13:28. When we anchor ourselves in faith, our minds are free to focus on what we can control. rather than spiraling into worry about what we can't. But what about when things don't go as planned? This is where the concept of psychological flexibility comes in. Researchers have found that people who adapt their actions while staying committed to their values are more likely to succeed. This aligns perfectly with the philosophy of Tawakkul, trusting Allah with the outcome while adjusting our efforts to navigate life's challenges. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're preparing for a major job interview. You've done your research, rehearsed your answers, and dressed the part. This is your action. But as you wait in the lobby, your mind starts racing. What if I mess up? What if they don't like me? At that moment, trust becomes your anchor. You remind yourself, I've done my part. The result is in Allah's hands. This combination of preparation and surrender allows you to walk into the interview room with confidence and clarity. Even in the realm of relationships, trust and action go hand in hand. Think of a friendship or marriage. It thrives when both parties take intentional steps, communicating, showing appreciation, resolving conflicts, while trusting in the bond they've built together. The balance of trust and action is like a bird in flight. Faith is one wing, effort is the other. Without either, the bird cannot soar. By grounding ourselves in this balance, we unlock not only mental resilience, but also the capacity to navigate life's complexities with grace and confidence. Certainly, let's continue seamlessly, ensuring the script feels natural and connected while maintaining the audience's immersion. Expanded C. Practical techniques to master the balance. 7M. Now that we understand the profound interplay between trust and action, the question arises, how do we apply this in our everyday lives? Theory alone isn't enough. It's the daily practices and habits that truly shape our experiences. These techniques are simple yet transformative, blending spiritual wisdom with modern insights to help you master this balance. Picture yourself starting the day, not with the weight of endless tasks, but with a moment of intentional trust. This is where the morning trust ritual begins. Before you check your phone or dive into work, sit quietly and recite, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Sufficient for us is Allah, and He is the best disposer of affairs. Let the words sink in, reminding you that while effort is necessary, the outcome lies in Allah's hands. Next, visualize your day. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself, what are 3 meaningful actions I can take today? Write them down. These aren't just tasks. They are seeds you're planting, trusting that Allah will nurture them in His wisdom. Neuroscience supports this. Starting your day with clear, actionable goals boosts dopamine levels, reinforcing motivation and focus. Throughout the day, integrate daily dhikr and affirmations. The act of remembrance isn't just spiritual. It's a way to reframe your mindset. Studies show that repeating positive statements rewires the brain, helping you combat doubt and fear. For example, when facing a challenge, say aloud, I trust Allah's plan, and I will give my best effort today. This pairing of spiritual grounding and positive reinforcement creates a powerful shield against negativity. But what about when unexpected hurdles arise? This is where the what's next technique becomes your anchor. When life throws a curveball, pause and ask 2 questions. 1. What is within my control? 2. What can I entrust to Allah? Focus your energy on actionable steps from the first question, while releasing anxiety about the second. For instance, if a project deadline shifts unexpectedly, adjust your timeline and prioritize tasks you can manage. At the same time, trust that the broader outcome is part of a greater plan. This practice not only reduces stress, but also reinforces your ability to adapt. One of the most transformative exercises is the seed planting visualization. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine a vast field before you. Visualize yourself planting seeds, each one representing an effort, a goal, or a prayer. Now picture divine light pouring down, nurturing those seeds. Feel the reassurance that while your actions are essential, the growth is guided by Allah. This visualization is a powerful reminder of your role as a co-creator in your journey. These practices, while simple, are deeply impactful. They help bridge the gap between spiritual trust and practical effort, allowing you to navigate challenges with resilience and clarity. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, said, "Tie your camel and trust in Allah," a profound metaphor for this balance. Tying the camel is your action, trusting Allah is your faith. Together they create harmony, ensuring that you move forward with purpose and peace. The balance between trust and action is not only a deeply personal journey, but also a recurring theme across spiritual traditions and philosophical teachings. These ancient texts offer profound lessons that resonate even in today's modern, fast-paced world. In Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali Assant profoundly states, "Reliance on Allah is the pinnacle of faith." This reliance, however, is not blind dependence. It's a conscious and intentional act of surrender. Imam Ali teaches that true reliance comes from recognizing our limitations while acknowledging Allah's limitless wisdom and mercy. This doesn't mean abandoning effort. It means coupling our actions with the certainty that success is ultimately in His hands. Imagine standing on the edge of a difficult decision. When you trust in Allah's plan, every step forward feels lighter because you're no longer carrying the weight of uncertainty alone. The Bible echoes this sentiment with Proverbs 3:5. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." The wisdom here is clear. Human reasoning, while powerful, is finite. Trusting in divine guidance doesn't negate our efforts. It enhances them. Consider Hajar's story once more. Her actions, though frantic, were not chaotic. They were rooted in trust. She didn't wait passively. She moved with conviction, believing that Allah would provide. The Torah introduces the concept of hishtadlut, a Hebrew term emphasizing the balance between personal effort and divine intervention. This mirrors the Quranic principle of tawakkul, showcasing the universal truth that our work is meaningful, but the results belong to the Creator. For example, a farmer tills the soil, plants seeds, and waters them, but he knows he cannot control the rain or the growth itself. His effort is essential, but his trust is what brings peace. Let's pause and reflect. How often do we mistake trust for passivity? How often do we believe that action alone will yield results? The lessons from these scriptures remind us that trust and action are not competing forces, but complementary partners. When you take a step, trusting in Allah, you're aligning yourself with the natural order of the universe, a rhythm that bridges effort with divine grace. Philosophical teachings also align with this balance. Aristotle's golden mean describes virtue as the harmony between deficiency and excess. Trust without action leads to complacency, while action without trust creates anxiety. Tawakkul is the golden mean of spiritual practice. It's the middle path where effort and reliance coexist. Spinoza's philosophy of divine interconnectedness further deepens this understanding. He argued that the divine and the material are not separate. They are one reality expressed differently. This mirrors the Quranic principle of unity. To Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. 42-49. When we trust Allah and act with intention, we align ourselves with this oneness, creating harmony in both our inner and outer worlds. Even existentialist thinkers like Kierkegaard contribute to this dialogue. He described faith as a leap into the unknown, a courageous trust that doesn't guarantee clarity, but offers peace. Tawakkul is that leap. It's standing at the edge of uncertainty, knowing that while you can't see the entire staircase, you can take the next step with confidence. This interplay of spiritual and philosophical wisdom teaches us that the journey of life isn't about controlling every outcome, but about trusting the process while contributing our best. It's about planting seeds, tying camels, and taking leaps, all while being deeply rooted in the belief that Allah's plan is always for our ultimate good. As powerful as the balance between trust and action is, living it isn't always easy. Life has a way of presenting us with obstacles that test our resolve, shake our trust, and challenge our ability to act. Let's dive into some of these challenges and explore how we can overcome them with practical strategies rooted in spiritual wisdom and modern science. One of the most common challenges is fear of failure. Have you ever been paralyzed by the thought, "What if I fail despite all my efforts?" This fear can feel suffocating, discouraging us from even trying. But consider the story of Prophet Yusuf, Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and unjustly imprisoned, his life could have been defined by failure after failure. Yet Yusuf never lost faith. He trusted that every step, no matter how painful, was part of a greater plan. And indeed, every setback became a stepping stone, leading him to his eventual role as a leader and provider during a time of famine. To overcome fear of failure, reframe it as a learning opportunity. Remind yourself that setbacks are not the end, they're part of the process. The Quran beautifully reassures us, and it may be that you dislike a thing which is good for you, and that you like a thing which is bad for you. Allah knows, and you do not know. 2:16. Trusting this wisdom allows us to act boldly, knowing that even our missteps carry hidden blessings. Another significant hurdle is doubt in the outcome. It's natural to question, how can I trust when I can't see the result? This is where faith truly shines. The Quran frequently reminds us of Allah's unseen wisdom, urging us to rely on His knowledge rather than our limited understanding. Imagine building a ship in the desert, as Prophet Noah did. The ridicule he faced would have deterred most, but his trust in Allah's command kept him moving forward. The result? Salvation, not just for him, but for all who believed and acted alongside him. To address doubt, cultivate small acts of trust daily. Start with manageable tasks that align with your goals and consciously release the need to control the outcome. Each time you practice trust, it becomes easier to embrace the unknown with confidence. A third challenge many face is paralysis from overthinking. Have you ever been so overwhelmed by options or doubts that you end up doing nothing at all? This analysis paralysis can be debilitating, leaving us stuck in a loop of indecision. Reflect again on Hajar's story. She didn't have a perfect plan or certainty of success, but she didn't let that stop her. She moved step by step between Safa and Marwah, trusting that her efforts would lead to something greater, and they did. When overthinking takes hold, focus on just one small action. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or plan, take the first step, no matter how small. This aligns with modern psychological research, which shows that action, even if imperfect, reduces anxiety and builds momentum. A practical way to combat overthinking is by using the 2-minute rule. If a task feels overwhelming, commit to working on it for just 2 minutes. Often, this small start is enough to break the cycle of procrastination and spark meaningful progress. Combine this with the spiritual mindset of surrender. I will take this step, and I trust Allah with the rest. It's also essential to surround yourself with supportive influences. The Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, emphasized the importance of companionship, saying, "A person is upon the religion of their close friend, so let them look at whom they befriend." Seek out people who encourage both your efforts and your faith. Their presence will remind you that you're not alone in navigating life's challenges. Ultimately, overcoming these obstacles requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as barriers, view them as opportunities for growth. Trust and action are like two sides of a coin, inseparable and equally valuable. The next time fear, doubt, or overthinking creeps in, remember the stories of those who came before us: Musa, Hajar, Yusuf, and countless others. Their lives weren't free of challenges, but their trust in Allah and their willingness to act transformed their struggles into triumphs. To fully grasp the interplay of trust and action, we need to look beyond individual experiences and into the philosophical frameworks that have shaped human understanding for centuries. The balance between these two forces is not just a spiritual principle. It's a universal truth echoed in philosophy, logic, and human behavior. This balance holds the key to navigating life's complexities with wisdom and grace. Aristotle's concept of the golden mean is a perfect starting point. Aristotle taught that virtue lies in the balance between deficiency and excess. For example, courage is the balance between recklessness and cowardice. Similarly, tawakkul, trust in Allah, is the golden mean of faith and effort. Trust without action breeds complacency, while action without trust leads to anxiety. Together they create harmony, allowing us to pursue our goals with purpose and peace. Let's consider a real-world analogy. Imagine walking a tightrope. If you lean too far to one side, relying solely on trust, you lose balance and fall. If you lean too far to the other, depending entirely on your own efforts, you risk the same fate. The key is balance. Each step forward requires focus and trust in the rope's support, just as every decision in life requires action grounded in faith. Spinoza, a 17th century philosopher, expands on this balance with his idea of divine interconnectedness. He argued that the material and the divine are not separate, but are two expressions of the same reality. This mirrors the Quranic verse, "To Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth," 42:49. When we align our actions with trust in Allah's plan, we connect with this divine unity, creating harmony in both our inner and outer worlds. Now, let's bring this idea into daily life. When you're working toward a goal, whether it's building a career, nurturing a relationship, or improving your health, ask yourself, am I aligning my efforts with trust in the divine process? This alignment isn't about perfection, it's about intention. Even if the path isn't clear, moving forward with faith ensures that every step contributes to a greater purpose. Existentialist thinkers like Soren Kierkegaard also contribute to this dialogue. Kierkegaard described faith as a leap into the unknown. This leap isn't blind. It's a courageous trust that acknowledges uncertainty while embracing action. Imagine standing on the edge of a cliff, knowing you must leap to reach the other side. The gap seems insurmountable, but trust acts as your bridge, and effort propels you forward. In the spiritual realm, this leap is embodied in Tawakkul. It's the willingness to take action without demanding immediate results, knowing that Allah's wisdom transcends our understanding. This idea is beautifully encapsulated in the Quran. And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and will provide for him from where he does not expect. 65:2-3. Trusting in this promise allows us to act boldly even when the outcome is uncertain. Even the physical universe operates on principles of balance. Consider the Earth's rotation, the delicate balance between gravity and momentum that keeps it orbiting the sun. This cosmic harmony reflects the same balance we are called to embody in our lives. When we trust in Allah's design and contribute our efforts, we align ourselves with this universal rhythm. The beauty of this balance is that it frees us from the extremes of inaction and overexertion. It reminds us that while we are responsible for planting seeds, the rain and sunlight come from Allah. This perspective not only reduces stress, but also deepens our connection to the divine, fostering a sense of peace and purpose. As we navigate life's challenges, let's strive to embody this balance. Let's take bold steps forward, trusting that even when the path isn't visible, Allah is guiding us toward what's best. Aristotle's logic, Spinoza's interconnectedness, and Kierkegaard's leap all converge in the timeless wisdom of Tawakkul. A reminder that trust and action, when combined, create a life of meaning, resilience, and fulfillment. So what does it truly mean to trust Allah while taking action? It's about standing at the crossroads of uncertainty and determination, planting your seeds with care and watering them with effort, all the while knowing that the growth comes from Allah. This duality, faith in divine timing and commitment to human effort, is what transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing you don't have to carry the full weight of your worries. When you trust Allah, you release the fear of the unknown. At the same time, by acting purposefully, you claim your role as a participant in your destiny. This isn't passivity, nor is it control, it's harmony. The journey of trust and action is like building a bridge across a vast river. Each plank you lay down represents an effort, studying for an exam, reaching out to repair a strained relationship, applying for a job, or taking the first steps toward better health. But the sturdiness of the bridge comes not from your planks alone, but from the invisible pillars of divine support beneath them. The Quran reassures us, and put your trust in Allah, and Allah is sufficient as a disposer of affairs. 33:3. Think about the challenges that have tested you. Maybe it's a setback that felt insurmountable, a decision that left you paralyzed, or a dream you feared chasing. Reflect on how many of these moments were shaped not by the outcome, but by your approach. Did you hesitate, or did you take the leap, trusting that even failure would carry a lesson? Let's revisit the earlier metaphor of the tightrope. Picture yourself walking across it step by step. Trust is what keeps you balanced, and each action propels you forward. Now imagine if the safety net beneath you wasn't woven by your hands, but by Allah's promise. Suddenly, the fear of falling diminishes. You know that no matter what happens, you are held. And this isn't just about major life events, it's about the small, everyday moments too. It's about the patience you practice when waiting in line, the kindness you extend to a stranger, the extra effort you put into your work, and the prayers you whisper in solitude. Every small act of trust and action compounds over time, shaping a life of fulfillment and purpose. But what if you feel like you've fallen short? What if the fear, doubt, or overthinking we discussed earlier still holds you back? Remember this, every new day is an opportunity to realign. As Imam Ali said, "He who knows himself knows his Lord." By reflecting on your struggles, understanding your fears, and embracing your strengths, you move closer to that balance of trust and action. Here's a practical takeaway to help you start right now. Think about one challenge you're currently facing. Break it into 2 questions. 1. What is one small action I can take today? 2. How can I surrender the rest to Allah? Write down your answers and then act on the first while releasing the second. Repeat this practice daily, and over time, you'll notice a profound shift, not just in how you handle challenges, but in how you approach life itself. As we close, let's return to a verse that encapsulates everything we've explored. Perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you. And perhaps you love a thing, and it is bad for you. And Allah knows while you do not know. 2:16. Trusting Allah doesn't mean understanding everything. It means believing that every twist and turn has a purpose, even if it's hidden from us. So what's one area in your life where you need to trust more and worry less? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else on their journey. And don't stop here. Watch our next video on cultivating mindfulness through spiritual and practical practices. Together, let's embrace the harmony of trust and action, building lives rooted in clarity, purpose, and peace.